I thought it was going to be an ordinary morning on my farm. Then I saw a convoy of vehicles coming straight toward my gate. There were so many vehicles that they nearly filled the road. Whatever the HOA had planned, they clearly wanted me intimidated. Then the woman leading the convoy stepped out. It was Victoria Hayes, the HOA president who had been fighting me for months. Victoria pointed through my gate and declared that the property was no longer going to operate under my control. I just looked at her and asked one simple question. Based on what? Victoria claimed her paperwork gave the HOA authority to control the property, but she had made one major mistake. She assumed nobody would challenge her claims. I didn't argue with her. Instead, I pulled out my phone and called my wife. My wife, Commander Rachel Cole, was already at headquarters. She listened quietly while I explained exactly what was happening at the farm. Rachel didn't panic. She simply told me, "Stay calm. Don't escalate anything. I'll handle the official response." Within minutes, the State Police Command Center knew exactly where the situation was developing. Rachel personally took command of the response. Victoria's convoy had arrived expecting to control the situation. They had no idea that a state police response was already on its way. The first police SUVs rolled through the entrance area. For the first time that morning, Victoria stopped talking. Then Rachel stepped out of the lead vehicle. Victoria's confident expression disappeared the instant she recognized who was standing in front of her. Rachel walked over to me and quietly asked if I was okay. I told her I was fine and pointed toward the paperwork Victoria had brought. Victoria had expected an ordinary confrontation with a farmer. She hadn't expected the farmer's wife to command the state police division responding to the scene. Rachel didn't use her position to threaten Victoria. She simply told everyone that the dispute will be handled through the proper legal process. The documents were examined carefully, one page at a time. The more they reviewed, the weaker Victoria's claim appeared. A property surveyor who had arrived at the convoy was finally asked to explain the actual boundary. His answer changed the entire mood of the confrontation. The survey confirmed what I had been saying all along. The farm was private property, and the HOA had no authority to simply take control of it. The convoy that had looked so intimidating an hour earlier suddenly looked very different. Nobody seemed eager to continue the confrontation. Rachel instructed the officers to keep everything peaceful and professional. There would be no confrontation, only a lawful resolution. For the first time that day, I looked across my farm without wondering what would happen next. I knew the facts were finally being heard. Victoria tried one final argument, but Rachel calmly explained that ownership and authority couldn't be changed simply because someone demanded it. One by one, the convoy vehicles began turning around. The takeover that Victoria had promised never happened. I closed my gate after the final vehicle disappeared down the road. For the first time all day, the farm was quiet again. I thanked Rachel for coming. She smiled and reminded me that she hadn't come as my wife first. She had come to make sure the situation was handled properly. Back at headquarters, Rachel made sure every part of the incident was properly documented. No shortcuts, no intimidation, just facts and procedure. That evening, I walked the same fields I protected for years. Everything looked exactly the same, but I didn't. That day taught me something important. Confidence means nothing when the facts aren't on your side. The strongest response isn't always the loudest one. The next morning, there were no convoys waiting outside my gate. Just my farm, my family, and another day ahead. Victoria came to my farm expecting me to back down, and left after the facts were made clear. Like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from.